Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's AJ Writes Crypto.
And I'm Jay Chains.
And we're about to have an honest conversation about the crypto market right now. But before we do that, what's the coin that you hate the most right now?
Oh, God, don't get me started. ApeCoin.
ApeCoin?
Yeah.
ApeCoin.
I had such high expectations for it, and Yuga just continued to make wrong step after bad decision. And now we're here at like 80-something cents.
Oh, that's rough. You know, if I had to answer that question, I'd probably say Gala. Just the worst tokenomics.
It is. I like Jason. I like the team so much.
I want to, but I don't.
The token is trash.
So bad.
Man, we got higher expectations.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some good ones.
Yeah, so, you know, the main reason we wanted to make this video is because, you know, if you're holding altcoins like us, you just got wrecked.
You got wrecked.
You just got wrecked, all right? And, you know, Jay Chains and I, we've been around the block a couple times. Maybe it's because we were too drunk to find the house. But we've been around the block.
Been around the block.
I did steal that joke from Dane Cook, by the way.
I like that.
Yeah,
Dane Cook, shout out to him.
Shout
It's been a while since I've heard about his name.
Yeah, right? So anyway, we just got wrecked, right? We just got wrecked. So we need to have that conversation of like, okay, we're holding no matter what. We need to zoom out.
Right.
All in all, this is probably just a bear trap. Probably.
Dude, we are way too close to the parabolic phase for this to be like a bear market, right?
Like, so what I'm saying is we're post-halving.
Yeah.
Post-halving.
This is the accumulation phase.
This
is
supposed
to be like 6 to 8-ish weeks. I think we're on borrowed time, but that doesn't mean anything. That's part of the shakeout.
Right. And the thing is that I've seen so many people on Twitter freaking out, saying how much money they lost and all the things. And I'm like, yeah, like you must have not been here that long. Because when this happens, I say, oh, I get to buy the graph under 20 cents again.
Absolutely.
I get to buy, you know, Algorand at 14 or 13 or H-bar at 8, 7 or 8. Like this is a blessing.
Opportunity is what if you've been through a few of these cycles, or at least you understand what's going on, these are just opportunities. Yep. And that's why they're so important. Because like you could, I mean, between one day to the next, you can make 20% just if you catch it right.
Yeah. So quick question. So, you know, you wake up in the morning, you don't know what's going on. You refresh your portfolio on your phone. You're down 25%.
Ugh.
What do?
You start to wonder where you went wrong. Did you see the signs? Did you see the price start to go down? Because that's what I start to think about. Like, was there an opportunity for me to get out of this? And I've thought about this a lot, you know, with my gaming tokens, because like they've kind of taken a big fall. But at the end of the day, like, all right, we didn't sell. Same thing where if you wake up and it's just a red day, like a big red day, you're like, all right, well, I still have these tokens. There's no need to sell anything, because if you do, you're definitely taking a loss. Yeah. So you either buy some more or you move on.
Yeah. And really, I think hindsight's always 20/20 in these situations, because like, look at it like this. Like we bought, you know, a lot of the graph, 14, 15 cents, kind of up the hill November going into December. And then it goes to 50 cents. Right. And then it's like, at the time, you're thinking like, well, I don't know if I'm going to sell now. And then it naturally goes all the way back down to support resistance. So it's kind of one of those things like people kind of need to wake up and realize, oh, okay, I've doubled my money. I should maybe take some of this out. And if we come back to support resistance, I just get to buy that much more. There needs to be some sort of plan implemented every time you make X%. And I think that is something that people sleep on. It's something I work on, something I've been working on for years, but it's still like, I think the truth is no one can go to the future, right? No one can actually go to the future, come back and say they know what happened.
Unless you're Marty McFly and you get the sports almanac, and then you can bet on the Cubbies.
Yeah. So, you know, moving forward, what projects are you looking at now that, you know, you think can really get you back in, like, you know, for a saving grace, Hail Mary type projects?
I mean, that's a really good question. As far as like the Hail Mary and saving grace projects, this is something you and I were talking about a few minutes ago, and it's kind of like, okay, so I did have a couple of coins in my portfolio that actually performed well during this dump, right? Like Ondo, like it took a little dump, but it's back up, right? We were talking PT token, the Phemex token, right? Like, that was a great store of value. Like, thankfully, like I caught that one when XRP like popped up to like 72 cents, and I transitioned everything. I sold everything of XRP over to PT when it was like 74 cents, and that thing ripped up to like $1 something. So like, thankfully, like I've got those two those are my saving graces. But the question is, do I take what I've got, those gains, and do I flush that into the ones that are down 40%? Like some of those gaming tokens, the Beams, the IMXs, which by the way, IMX was a money printer for like the first half of this year.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it went downhill. So like I'm wondering, do I take some of those gains and throw it into IMX? I mean, they've got 200 and some games coming out this year alone, right? Like
that's crazy.
Like that is the future of gaming. I know that's not the idea of where I want to go with like this conversation and stuff, but it's like as we answer these questions and I start to think about it, it's like maybe it's time to shift the portfolio into those tokens that haven't really performed well.
Yeah, and so the way I look at this is that, so we had a nice run up, March this year, right? And wherever we are now, we realize that if you look back to March, that's now a target. So when if you click on the link down below, there's a video about a bunch of coins and their current Fibonacci levels that I use to determine the strength or the weakness of that coin, right? So you look at Bitcoin, it's at the top. It's still strong. It's holding its value. I mean, it has a lot of inflows from the ETF. Globally, it has the most eyes on it. It can, Bitcoin dominance is really running the show right now.
Like 55%.
It's like 55 or 54. It's insane. It's insane. But that's why Bitcoin's holding its value. But then there are coins that, like you said, Ondo and PT and even Jasmy, that have held their value really well. So now we need to look to, okay, well, which coins are weak? And like in terms of their level on the Fibonacci, and how much is the pump from where we are now to that local high? Like I know the graph is like 100, 130% away.
That's, I mean, there's no guarantees in life, but that's about as close as it gets to like, if you are trying to like track some potential gains, like you're like, all right, I can get, this is reasonable. Like this is going to happen, especially in the parabolic phase.
Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a long look at the coins I have that have held value, keeping some exposure. Of course, I'm not selling my PT or my Ondo, not all of it, but I am going to cycle some money into the quote weak coins based off strength weakness on Fibonacci. And I kind of think that as long as they don't go back to the bottom of value area low, I really wouldn't be surprised if we hit a local bottom here in the next week or two, if not already.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's a great strategy, especially like, because the whole point, like you do the rate my portfolios and all that stuff that you do, it's like, people are always trying to like, oh, I want a 10x this or whatever they want. And it's completely unrealistic. But if you were to think like, okay, you could get one of those X's just by shifting like right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like you've only got 9 more to go and you can do a couple other shifts. There's going to be periods of volatility where maybe just hanging onto that coin's never going to get you that 10, but if you hop a few times, you're going to get much closer than if you just sit there and hope and pray that it's actually going to happen.
Yeah. There is a level of you need conviction, sure, but I've never seen a strategy work where unless your strategy is 5 years at a time, just sitting and holding in one thing and not cycling, it doesn't really seem to work.
Right.
Unless it's like, I'm holding this for 5 years, 10 years. If that's your strategy, okay. But like,
sure, but like
if you're trying to maximize.
Guys, like the XRP and the Cardano people, like you got to feel bad for them at this point. It's just like, because they're just, that coin's like, and we talk about, when we talk about like putting maybe some of our money that we've got that's held value into some of the coins that have underperformed, like I certainly am not going to touch XRP, and I'm certainly not going to put anything into ADA right now. Like I'm just not comfortable with it, because irregardless, like they're not performing even when everything else was, like you said, back in March or, earlier in this year. So like those are not ones to really risk that potential. I'd rather keep it in my Ondo or PT than shift into those two coins.
Yeah, and it's also about completely having realistic expectations with whatever coin you're holding. Like if you're holding Bitcoin or Ethereum, realize how much money it takes for Bitcoin or Ethereum to 2 or 3x.
Right.
If you're holding from 5 by market cap to 20 by market cap, there's an expectation on how much it takes for those to double or triple versus 50 to 100. I mean, not even, it used to be you had to at least have $1 billion to be in the top 100. Now it's like in the 800 billions. And think about, all right, so it would take, $23 billion for XRP to double in price, or it would take $900 million for something down there to double in price? I mean, what's going to happen first? That's where I've always stood.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I think I mean, that's just, it's a really great strategy in how you start to move things around. And again, it really, and this brings up a whole nother conversation because like with the lengthening meme cycle, and we can save this one for another one. But with the lengthening meme cycle, you know, we're starting to see, in my mind, the investment landscape shift, right? And so, like, what we have to do is remember not to marry our bags. And with the meme coin cycle, kind of seeing a lot of NFT guys come over where, you know, it was community building, and now we're building community with these investment tools.
Right.
And like hanging in a Discord and a Telegram and all this stuff. Like, hey, I know we're meme coin buddies, but remember, at some point you got to sell, and those are your friends. And so we're really kind of changing the strategy up as to like, how do we invest in these crypto coins without marrying our bags, because that's the most important thing, because that's what keeps you going.
The worst thing that ever happened to your gains was being a community member.
I know.
It's the worst thing that ever happened to your gains. Shout out to the H Barbarians.
But it's,
and the Yago fan.
But it's true. I mean, like, even think about like my
I love you
mutant,
guys.
like my mutant, right? Like,
right, dude.
Right now, I could get a Bored Ape and 5 mutants for the price that I bought my mutant for. And that's insane, right? But that's what you just said. Being a community member, being a diamond hand, sometimes will get you in a position that is negative. And that's why we got to really be thinking about our financial investments and our decisions, and are we marrying our bags, or are we trying to make money here?
All right, so I'm going to ask you a handful of rapid fire questions to end the video with, and then we'll call it a day. Everybody out there, make sure you smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and go follow my guy Jay Chains. All of his socials are linked down below in the description. Rapid fire.
Okay.
Would you buy a Bored Ape right now if you found $50,000 on the street, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Bananas or apples?
Apples.
Apples. All right. Cardano or H-bar?
H-bar.
H-bar. Algorand or ApeCoin?
Oh, Algo for sure.
Let's go, Algo. Sure. See how I did that? See how I did that? All right. What is your number? Like, in terms of, in the Rate My Portfolio segment, it's always, you know, what's your goal, your realistic expectation? Like, some people, I need a 15x, or some people are like, dude, I want a 4x. What's your number?
My number puts me, I honestly, so I've shot the moon on my goal. I want to make $50 million, right? Yeah. So even if I fall short, like well short of it, like it's still more than enough for the rest of my life, right?
Yeah.
So that's my goal. So I think at this point, like, I want to 15x.
Okay.
Realistically, I think that's doable if I play the cards right.
Sure.
Totally. But we talked about this. I possibly have to get out of the 46% Ondo position in my portfolio to make this happen.
That would not get a high score.
That's why DCA is not the right move. I was just DCAing and throwing it to my cold storage without paying attention.
DCAing is the right move, but make sure you're diversifying when you do it. That's all.
Yeah.
I think right now, overall, we wanted to have a conversation about, we know a lot of people just got wrecked, and how, you know, we've been around how we handle these things. I think a message I would like to drive home from this video is, guys, be consistent.
That's it.
I know you feel like you want to panic, you feel like you want to, you know, sell, parachute off the cliff. Overall, that you're doing what the market wants you to do if you're selling right now. There's that. And also, this is an opportunity. We might not get many more chances to buy these projects at these targets. And like, think about, even if you say I buy $5,000 of the graph today, you know, right around 20 cents, 21 cents. Even if it goes to 17 or 15, where I'm going to sell at the end of the day it's irrelevant.
In the dollar range. It's not in the cent range anymore. So
it's irrelevant whether I buy now and it falls, or if I buy now and it pumps. It's all relative. And that's why being consistent is everything. Set your goals. Keep yourself accountable to those goals. Don't fall in love. That's been my 3 keys this whole time.
Dude, I love all that. The only thing that I say differently, instead of being accountable to your goals, it's set systems in place to help you meet those goals, right? Because it's one thing like
force accountability.
But that's in like just about anything, right? Like even like weight loss. Like, I want to lose 20 pounds this year. Okay, what are you gonna do to lose those 20 pounds? Like the same thing with crypto. Like, I want to make $50 million. what in the world are you going to actually do to help you meet that goal? Because that's a lofty goal. You can't just sit on your coins and wait for it to happen.
Yep.
Got to be moving in and out. You got to be strategizing. You got to keep on your toes.
Yep.
Consistency, like you said, brother.
Let's go. Consistency. Guys, make sure you smash the like, subscribe to the channel, follow my guy, Jay Change. He's cranking out content over there on his channel. We're going to have another one of these conversations sometime soon.
Many more of these.
Let me know down below in the comments, what conversation do you want to hear us have on the next episode of AJ Chains? Ooh, see how I did that?
I like that.
Smash the likes. Have a great day. Peace.
See ya.
Sweet. That was perfect. 15 minutes.
Dude, awesome.
AJ Chains.
AJ Chains.